Hi everyone, welcome you all. In this video, I will show you how we can work with numbers and strings in JavaScript. So basically, number and string both are default objects in JavaScript, and so that it is provided different type of methods. And let us see what are those methods and how we can use those methods on numbers and strings. So first of all, let me just go to my Visual Studio Code Editor, and here I'm just creating a new JavaScript file. Let me create a new file, and here I will name it as strings and numbers.js. So once you created a file, let me just start with the strings. So how we can create a strings? So we can create a string variables in two different ways. One is we can just specify a let's say s is my variable, and directly we can assign the value in the double quotations. So this is the one way we can create a string variable directly. And because string is also an object, predefined object in JavaScript, so we can also do like this. Let's x equal to let s equal to, we can use a new keyword, new string. So this will create a string object. S is a string object. So either we can go for this way or we can go for this way. Now let's see what are all methods are available to perform different operations on the strings. So I already defined one string here, let s equal to welcome. Now let's see what are the methods are available. The first method is caret method. So this particular method will extract or retrieve a specific character based upon the index we passed. So normally the in the string, index will start from 0. So 0, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So index will start from 0. So when I pass an index of the string inside this method, which will return the character which is there on that particular index place. So let me use this s dot, s is my string variable, so I can use all the methods. Caret of, when I say 2 here, 2 representing an index, so 0, 1, 2. In the second place we have l, so that should be returned. So let me just print that return value by using console.log. And when I say this, save it, and to run this file, go to terminal, open the new terminal, and you'll say node, and I'm giving file name as strings and numbers.js. So now it is written l as an output. So based upon the index, we can extract a specific character from the string. So that is a usage of caret method. And apart from this, there are few more methods. We have concat. This is another method we have, so by which we can concatenate two or more strings. So for example, s is already there, I want to concatenate with some other value with this existing value. So what I can say is s dot concat of, s is already a variable which contains some value, so I want to concatenate some other value with this existing value. So here I can specify that, let's say to JavaScript programming. So this is how I'm just writing a simple message which I'm going to concatenate or join with the existing string. So to JavaScript programming. So this is how we need to concatenate. So I want to print the entire string after concatenation. So what I can do is simply console.log of this one. So I can just end this statement. So this particular statement will concatenate this value along with this one. The final string will be returned. Now when I run this program, you will see this particular output. So welcome is a value which is there in the s. S is a variable which contains a welcome and which is concatenated with the another value. So this is how we can concatenate. And similarly, if you want to concatenate more than two values, you can simply say again dot concat and continue with that. Let me just show you. So let me just write the same statement, and which is concatenated with s. Already the concatenation is done. So I want to concatenate with another value. Again, write one more concat, and here I can simply say another value. Let me just remove this one for now, and that will add here. Okay, now I'm joining two strings, three strings. The first one, yes, contains the first string, the second one, and third one. Let's execute and see how it is going to work. So once we execute it, now we got the same thing. So this is an output. So this is how we can concatenate more than two strings. And similarly, we also have another method called replace. So by using this replace function, we can replace a specific character or specific string from a main string. So let's see how we can replace it. Let's say I'm just adding some huge value here. Let us say welcome to JavaScript. This is my whole string. So this variable you already defined above, so I'm not redefined let here. Okay, directly specify the variable, just I'm changing the value. So welcome to JavaScript. So here I want to replace this JavaScript, the entire JavaScript with Java. Okay, I want to replace a string. So for that, what I can simply do is s dot replace of, and we need to specify which one we need to replace. So we have to replace this JavaScript, and with the new string value we need to pass in the second parameter. I need to replace with Java. So this whole statement will return the replaced statement. Now I can also print this by using console.log, and you can put everything in the console.log. Now execute once again. So now this is a value we are getting now. This is output of this particular statement. So instead of JavaScript, which is replaced by Java, so this is a whole statement. So this is a replace method by which we can replace a string in a main string. Now we also have one more method called substring. So by using this particular method, we can extract some portion from the actual string. So let us say s is equal to, and redefine the value as welcome. Now I want to extract first 3 characters. So we need to count from 0. When I count in the index, we'll start from 0. So when I say here s dot substring, we can write like this: s dot substring of, and here we need to pass the lower and higher indexes. So here we need to I want to get WEL. So these are 3 characters I want to get. So how we need to get? So this is starting position is 0. So we need to pass 0 as a starting position, and 0, 1, and 2. So 2 is the end position. So whenever I count the ending index here, start from 1. So this is a 0, 1, and 2. So index is start from 0, we say 0. This is a starting index. When you're counting ending index, we need to start from 1. So for example, this is 1, 2, 3. So in the third position, we have a L. So we need to pass 3 here, right? So 0, 3 means 0 is a starting position, 3 is an ending position. So when you count from the starting position, specify from 0, count from 0. And when you count in the ending index, we need to start from 1. So 0 means this is a 0 position. 3 means 1, 2, and 3. So in the third position, we have L. So this particular statement will will return WEL. Let me run this. Now I have not printed this output message, so I need to put that into console.log. Console.log of s dot substring of 0, 3, and then semicolon. Save it and run this. So now we got the 3 characters. And suppose I want to extract COME, last 4 characters. Then how we can write the same statement? So I can write like this. So last 4 characters I want. So where we need to start? We need to start from the C. So starting index we need to count. So 0, 1, 2, 3. In the third position, C is there. There's a starting index. We need to count from 0. So 0, and till which character we need to extract? Till E. So what is the place of E? What is the index of E? Is ending index. So we need to count from 1. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. 7 is the ending index of E. So I'll say 7 here. So now when I execute this, we will get welcome. So we are not printed. So we have printed 0 to 7. It is still 0, right? So that's the reason from beginning it is giving. But I want to get from C. So starting index 0, 1, 2, 3. So we need to change this 3 to 7. So we will get exactly COME. So this is how we can use substring method. We can extract some portion of the string, and we can convert this entire string into lowercase and uppercase letters. So we have a 2 uppercase and 2 lowercase methods. Let's see how we can do this. So 2 lowercase and 2 uppercase. 2 uppercase. So these are the 2 methods which we can use to change the case conversion methods. So let's say s is equal to, and here I'm saying WEL COME. So currently I have mixed characters. First 3 characters are uppercase characters. Next 4 characters are the lowercase characters. Now I want to completely change everything into lowercase. So s dot, I can simply say 2 lowercase. 2 lowercase. So this method will convert the entire string into lowercase. Now let us print this. Let's say console.log s dot lowercase, and then print here. And again the same thing, if I use two uppercase, the whole string will be converted into uppercase. So here I can simply say uppercase, and now save it and execute. So now you can see this is the output of the statement, which is converted everything into lowercase letters, and this is output of the last statement, which is converted everything into uppercase letters. So two lowercase and two uppercase method we can use. And one more method is split method we have. These methods are very frequently we use in our projects. And there are a number of methods are there, but here I'm just going to discuss few important methods which we are going to use very frequently in your projects. So split is another method by which we can split the string into multiple parts. So for example, let's say s equal to, and here I'm writing something called welcome to JavaScript. And now I have three parts. So welcome is one thing, two, and JavaScript. I want to split them into three parts. So to split them into three parts, I can specify split method. Yes dot split, and where we want to split, that you have to specify. Sometimes you may have commas like this. So based on the comma, you have to split like this. You need to specify the separator or delimiter. Or if you have a space here, then you have to specify the space here. Space is a delimiter, right? So now this particular method will split this entire string. Wherever the space is occurred, it is split into three parts. This is one part, and space is occurred. Then next one is second part, again space is occurred. Third one is a third part. So what this will return is, this will return an array variable. It will return an array of values. So to store those values, we need to define an array variable. So let's create ARR. So this is considered as an array variable, so which contains a three different values now. So how to extract now? So if I say ARR of 0, which will give you the first one. So let me print that console.log of ARR of 0. And similarly, if you want to extract another values, let's say ARR of 1 and then ARR of 2, right? So 0 means the first one, 1 means second one, 2 means third one. So let us execute and see. So now it is written three parts. Welcome to JavaScript. So we can split the entire string based upon the delimiter by using split method. And we also have another method called, very useful method called trim method. Sometimes if you have any spaces on the right and left side, we can trim those spaces. Let's say here I'm defining the variable called, I'm giving some space here, I'm adding some string, and again I'm giving the space. So if I just print this string as it is, let's say console.log of s, and it will print including spaces, it will print. When I add this, you can see these are some spaces are there, and here also there are some spaces. I want to trim those spaces. Then what I can do is I can simply say a method called s.trim. So this particular method will trim the spaces and display the exact value. Now when I run this again, so this is a string which contains the spaces, and this is a string which is trim the spaces. So right and left side spaces are trimmed here. So this is how we can use with we can use trim method. So there are these are the few methods which we are going to use frequently in our projects, and there are so many other methods we have, string methods we have in JavaScript. You can just Google them. And now apart from this strings, we need to also sometimes work with the numbers. Even just like a string, number is a also predefined object in JavaScript, so that it is provided different type of methods to perform certain operations on the numbers. Now we'll see what are those methods are available on numbers. So let me just start with the numbers. So numbers. So what is number? A number can be an integer or it can be a decimal, right? But numbers we can create in two different ways. So here number is also an object in JavaScript, right? So suppose when I say let x is equal to 100, this is a number, and we can define the same thing like this. Let's say let x is equal to, we can use a new keyword, new, we can say new number of, and here we can specify the number. So either we can go for this one or this one, so both are correct, right? So here we just added some value into the variable, and here number itself is a predefined object in JavaScript, so we can create an object for the numbers. So the value of the x is 100, both are same. Now let's see what are the methods are available to work on the numbers. So numbers means it can be integer or it can be decimal, anything. Let me define few numbers like this. Let me just command these two, save it, and here I'm defining few numbers. Let's say let x is equal to let's say 100 or 102, right? This is an integer value. This is a integer means which doesn't have any decimals. So let y equal to let's say 102.7. So this is a decimal, but still this is a number. And we can define like this: let z equal to something, let's say 10 exponential 2. So what does it mean is 10 to the power of 2, 10 square. It will calculate 10 square. So this is also the right way to create a number. This will basically exponential value. Exponential value, right? It will do 10 square. And these are the different ways we can do. So all these things we can again go for this notation. This is also right notation. Now let us print these values. To print these values, I'll say console.log and x comma y comma z. I'm printing all three values side by side. Now go to the console and execute. Now we can see this is how we will get. So what is the 1000 means 10 to the power of 2. That is calculated 1000. This is an exponential value. So these are the different ways we can create a numbers. So now we'll see what are the different methods are available to work on the numbers. The first method is integer. Is integer is a one method. So what this method will do, this method will verify whether that variable is having an integer or not. So for example, I'm defining so few variables. Let's say x is equal to 10, right, and y is equal to 108 something. This is a decimal number, and z equal to, I'll say x. Observe this carefully. So here these variables are already defined earlier, so that I'm using let keyword there. So I don't need to use the let keyword again here, because these variables just have changed the values of those variables, right? Now what is integer will do is, this particular method will verify whether this value is integer or not. If it is an integer, it will return true. If it is not integer, it will return false. So for example, let's say I want to check x is integer or not. So what I can do simply is, you can use number object dot, the method name is integer. So all the number methods we can access by using number object. So number dot is integer of, specify that integer. I'll say x here. X contains a 10. So what this will return is, this will return either true or false, right? It will return either true or false. So let's see what this will return. I'm just putting in my console.log. Number dot is integer of x, because x is a purely number, it doesn't have any decimal, so that it should return true for us. What it's saying, console is not defined. Sorry, this is a spelling mistake. Console.log. Yes, let me just execute one more time. Yes, it is returning true, perfectly fine, because is integer is a conditional method, so x is having integer. And the same method when I use for other variables, let's use for y, and let us also use it for z. So when I say y is also a number, but it is not an integer, it is a decimal. So x is a string, it is not a number even. So let me just execute this. Now once you execute it, now you can see the first one is written true, because that's a purely integer, there is no decimals. Second one is returning false, because that's a number, but it is a still decimal, not an integer. And third one is also written false, because this is a string. Okay, so is integer is a method by which we can check a variable value is purely integer or not, which is returning either true or false. And there is one more method called parseInt. So what this method basically will do is, this particular method will convert a string into a number. It converts a string into number. Let's see one example here. I'm saying convert a string into number, right? So when I say s is equal to welcome, this is a string variable. So s is already defined somewhere, so I'm not using let keyword again. So this is a string variable. How can we convert this number? We can't, because even though this string inside these quotations we have alphabets, it is not possible to convert them into number. So for example, when I say here number dot parseInt of s, when I say like this, s contains a characters, right? We cannot convert that into numbers. So this statement will throw an error, right? Type error. Sometimes if you have some numbers like this, even though these are numbers, even though we have a numbers inside, this is basically a string because we have included that in the double quotations, right? So whichever we can include in the double quotations in JavaScript will be considered as a string. So we can convert this into a string. So before conversion, I'm writing like this: console.log of, I want to check the type of that variable, whether it is a number or a string. I want to know that. So to know that, we have a method called type of method. So type of method will check whether that the type of the variable, it will return the type of the variable. Let's say yes here, and this particular statement will tell us what type of this variable is: a string or number or decimal, whatever it is, it will return. And now after conversion, here I'm converting into number. Now outside I'm using type of, observe this. Okay, after converting to the number, I'm just using type of, so that here it should return a string and here it should return a number. Let me print it. So here also I'm using console.log. So why I'm using type of here? Because I want to know the type of that variable before conversion, after conversion. So here I'm knowing, I want to know the type of the variable, and after conversion here again I'm knowing the type of the variable. So let us execute and see. So first time it is returning string here. It is returning string. Perfectly fine, because we have included the numbers into the double quotation, will be treated as a string. Now again I have converted that into number. So this time it is giving number here. This time it is giving number. Okay. So this is how we can convert a string into integer by using parseInt. And similarly, we also have parse float. Suppose instead of number, if you have a decimal, then how we can do that? So we can do by using parse float method. So let us take a same variable s is equal to, right? S is equal to, in the double quotations, I'm putting some decimal number like this. This is a decimal number. I'm using dot, right? This is my number, decimal number. So again, before conversion, after conversion, I want to know that type of the variable. So here I'm just printing type of s, and number dot, instead of parseInt, I have to use parse float because it's a decimal number. So I'll say parse float. Okay. So now we'll see. Let's execute this code and see. Now before it is string, after conversion it is a number. So even though it is a decimal or without decimal, right? Both are numbers. Either it can be float or integer, both are number. So we are able to convert from the string into number by using parse int and parse float. Very, very useful method. And there is one more method called a ToString method. ToString method. So what this method will do is, this particular method will convert a number into the string format. So in these two methods, parse and parse float methods will convert a string into numbers. Now I'm going to show you how we can convert a string into numbers. A number into string. So let me just take a variable called let n equal to number. Let's say 1, 2, 3, 4. This is my number. Now I want to convert that into string. It can be decimal number also, no problem. So here, let's print the type of n. Okay, first let me print the type of n. I'll say console.log type of n. I'm just printing type of n. We'll see what this will print. So this will print number. So by default, it is a number. Perfectly fine. Now I want to convert that into string. So simply what I can do is, before printing this n, I want to convert this into string. So here I'll say ToString method I can use number dot ToString of n. So before printing the type of n, I'm just converting that n into string type. Now again printing here. Let's execute and see. Now it is converted as a string now. Perfectly fine. Okay, convert as string. And you can also specify the decimal number. So instead of integer, I'm saying a decimal number. So .3479 something. Now before converting to the string, and after conversion of the string. Now execute and see. So before that it is a number, after that it is converted as string. So this is how we can use some method from the number object to convert the number into string and string into number. So there are n number of methods are available to work on the numbers in JavaScript. You can just refer them in the Google. But here I have just explained very basic methods which we are going to use very frequently in our projects. Okay, so this is how we can work with the numbers and strings in JavaScript. So that's all for this video, guys. Thanks for watching.